So in the Knicks part of this, the Damian Lillard thing, you could now add Damian Lillard to the list of superstars that us Knicks fans are going to obsess about and then probably not get. Because that's what we do. So, let's see. LeBron.
Did Leon Rose represent Damian Lillard? You know?
I don't know that.
Did he represent Lonzo Ball?
I don't know that either. Leon Rose.
I think it's more likely the Ball than
Well,
Lillard.
obviously you know why, because one's an actual restricted free agent as opposed to the other one you need to trade.
Yeah, the other.
for.
And by the way, the other one, just got his coach fired too. So Portland fired their coach.
I know, and then he openly campaigned for Jason Kidd.
And then Jason Kidd came out and said he's not interested in Portland.
Yeah. Well, he said, I'm taking myself out of it. He felt uncomfortable that Damian Lillard was like, hey, that's the guy I want here. Because it just seems weird. I don't know. It's like...
That's what they do in the NBA.
I know, but he didn't like it. Jason Kidd didn't like it. He said everyone didn't want to do it. But it's just another thing. We're going to obsess about it. We're going to talk about it. There's going to be rumors. There's going to be Instagram posts. And then we won't end up with Damian Lillard. So think about it. LeBron James, right? That's a guy that we obsessed about back in 2010 and didn't get. Kawhi Leonard, I think we obsessed about him for a little bit and didn't get. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, we obsessed about them, didn't get them. Zion Williamson is another guy that we obsessed about. And, of course, the draft and the ping pong balls didn't go our way. Is there anybody else that I'm missing in there that we obsessed about and didn't get? But now you can add Damian Lillard to the mix.
How about Anthony Davis?
Yep, there you go. Bingo. Anthony Davis, another guy we obsessed about having.
Street clothes Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Street Clothes Davis.
Right.
Him. So, yeah, it's just another guy. So I don't know if I want to do it this time because I don't want to believe it until I actually get a legitimate report or feeling about this happening because I've been through it too many times. I really have. I mean, Lonzo Ball coming here, I could see definitely happening. But Lonzo Ball and Damian Lillard, I mean, the impact on an organization is not even close. What Damian Lillard would do.
Lonzo Ball is 23 years old.
Yeah, I know, but he's
23 years old.
Damian Lillard is a superstar player. It's absolute.
Yeah, it's taken him a while to get there.
Superstar player, and it's
top 5. Really?
Yeah, I believe he is. Yeah, I believe that he
is.
Not
about top 5.
I believe that he is.
Could he cover Trae Young?
I mean, not a lot of people can, but I'll tell you, he'll go point for point with him, and he won't go down, and he won't be having a team that has Trae Young taking a bow on the floor. I'll tell you that much.
Right. So Lonzo Ball's not the scorer maybe that you want, but Lonzo Ball's the facilitator that you're going to want.
It's easier to get Lonzo Ball. You can't compare Damian Lillard and Lonzo Ball as far as an impact on the team.
I'm just saying, he's 23 years old. He's still got so much basketball in front of him.
So's Kevin Knox.
And he's gotten better. Well, my Kevin Knox has not gotten better.
Yeah, but my point is that just because he's younger doesn't mean anything.
I think they've reached their ceiling. They'll go play somewhere else, and they'll be bit players, and they'll have nice careers, and they'll be fine. But they're not. Hey, none of these guys. You're going to need more than Lonzo Ball or Damian Lillard because you can see what's in this conference, and you can see what's in this division.
Can we get both of them? Is that possible? You get both of them, then we're talking.
You probably got more of a chance to get Bradley Beal.
I don't know.
He's going to want out of Washington, don't you think?
But if he didn't ask out yet, why is he going to ask out now?
Well, I mean, it's still plenty of time. It's only June. So he still has, 6 weeks to, start screaming and yelling about something. And the next thing you know, he'll be out of there.
I'm so conflicted with this stuff, though, because I can't. The Knicks need one of these guys. It's clear.
They need a point guard.
But they need a superstar player. And
they need a freaking point guard.
But they need a superstar player.
But they need a real young, aggressive, top-end point guard.
And even if they got that guy, they'd still need, unless it was the best player on the team, they'd still probably need another superstar player. But I hate the fact that you have to wait around for the disgruntled guy to come free. Like, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, the other person in the mix here that will be important as to whether or not they want a player of that magnitude, which I'm sure he does, but it's got to be the right guy, is going to be Thibodeau. He's got to have the right guy to meet what he wants to get done.
Yeah, to me, that would be Kawhi Leonard out of all those guys. It would be. Because Kawhi loves playing defense. He's always been defensive-oriented. He wants to be coached. He's one of those guys, I think.
Load management.
He's a load management guy. That's fine.
And that's not Tibbs. Tibbs is not a load management
But he's going to
guy.
have to understand that if you're getting a superstar like that, you got to come to an agreement. But I'm telling you, the defense part of it, that's how they would meet in the middle with that.
Yeah, I think Kawhi Leonard said yesterday, you know what?
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. Yeah, well, we'll see where they end up. And they may end up going all the way to the finals and winning it. Well, they won't because the Nets will. But we'll keep an eye on that situation. But it's like, wait for the guy who wants out. I can't stand that. I really can't.
Right.
Which guy is the most unhappiest?
And the question is is Lonzo the type of ball player that Tibbs wants? He may not want him. But then again, Leon Rose may want him. All I know is that he's 23. He's gotten better each year. He's got to be a little bit more mature than he was 2 years ago. And he fills an absolute 100% need for the Knicks, as does Damian Lillard. Don't get me wrong. They both do. But it's going to be one of these things where we're going to be around and around and around and around with all these different rumors and all this other stuff.
And then they'll probably end up with Ugats again.
And I always say that, when Joe Douglas started making all those trades over there for the Jets, we said, okay, having all these trades are great, and you have all these assets. Now show me what you're going to do with these assets. And he ended up with Zach Wilson. And he ended up moving around the board, ended up adding some other guys, going out and getting some wide receivers and free agents. You can't sit here and tell me that he didn't use his assets wisely. At least that's what it looks like right now. We won't know until they hit the field and what it's going to be like. But, this is what the Knicks have now. The Knicks have assets. They have cap room. They have draft choices. And this is where you want to be. And this is where now you're whatever basketball acumen that the front office has over there for the Knicks, they have to start using it. I would like to say like Sean Marks, but, Sean Marks got a break. Kyrie Irving wanted to play for the Nets. He didn't want to play for the Knicks. That was the break that happened for Sean Marks. And then, of course, he brought Kevin Durant along with him. And then it was up to Sean Marks to see if he could get James Harden out of Houston. They're lucky they got a gazillionaire owner over here. It doesn't really care how much money they pay, for their team. So it's, it worked out. But to me, Sean Marks really made his money by adding all these other bit players around these guys that are all living up to whatever hopes and dreams Sean Marks had for them.
So there goes James Harden into the locker room. Doesn't return. He's out tonight. Hamstring tightness. Same hamstring he dealt with for many weeks during the regular season. So you don't know when you're going to see him again. Kevin Durant was very, very upset about this when he was talking about it. Said, oh, it sucks, and James wanted to be out here. It's just terrible. It's a bad break, which made it sound worse than hamstring tightness to me. But who knows if we're going to see him again. Now, of course, it matters because out of the three of them, when he's been on the court, he has been the most impressive of the three this year. I think all of us would agree with that. As great as the other two guys have been, James Harden has been amazing since coming over in this trade, so of course it's going to affect them. But how much? It's almost like the basketball god said, okay, hamstring tightness for James Harden, and just make it a little bit easier, make it a little bit harder for the Brooklyn Nets because it's been too easy for them already. I still think that they are going to win this series, and I still think they're going to win the championship. Even if James Harden didn't play another game in this postseason, I think that they're still good enough. They're just going to be a little more difficult.
When you watch these games, and obviously Trae Young is maybe a different sort just because of the way he does things, and he does get his guys open for three-pointers. These come down to three-point shooting contests. That's what all these games seem to come down to. And Milwaukee only hit 6 of 30 three-point attempts. Think of that, 6 of 30. And, I think the Nets hit 15 three-pointers. That's where this difference in these games are. And quite frankly, you still have two incredible shooters in Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris, of course, and Kevin Durant. Let's face it, these guys can shoot, and that's to me the rub where I do think Sean Marks has done a great job of the support personnel that can hit the threes when they need to hit the threes.
Well, Landry Shamit's another one of those guys.
Yes, exactly. So,
yeah, and Blake Griffin, by the way, has been great for them.
So he's reinvigorated,
right.
and it shows. So I still think they're going to be 16-5. I do, as long as 2 of the 3 stay healthy. And Kevin Durant, say whatever you want about the burner accounts and fighting with people on social media and screaming at fans about, the way they should be reacting. When the guy plays, he's a 7-footer that is almost is impossible to stop.
Yep.
And even when you see Giannis standing next to Kevin Durant, I mean, Giannis is a mountain of a man.
Of course he is. Yeah, no,
He
I
is
know.
a stud.
Yep.
I mean, if that guy was a tight end in football, I would throw it to him on every play.